Well, hello, Avid readers. This is someone I have wanted to have on my podcast a long time. I know she is a fan favorite. And when you in the group are mentioning who your favorite authors, recommending books, her name comes up a lot. Today we have Joanne Bischof DeWitt. I got it all out there.
You did it.
Welcome, Joanne, to Avid Readers of Christian Fiction.
Thank you. I love this group. I'm so excited to be here today.
And I'm so excited to have you, first of all. We're talking about your new book, The Heart of Bennet Hollow, which is a retelling of Pride and Prejudice in a very fun, sweet way. And that is like one of my all-time favorite books, movies. We're going to talk in a minute of what our favorite version of Pride and Prejudice is. But before we go there, why don't you just tell us a little bit more about yourself?
I would love to. I'm based here in California, and I've been writing since my 20s. So I've done Trish and I were just joking that we don't know the count. Probably about 12 novels at this point. Not a ton, but I have the honor of currently writing for Tyndale House. And so
Yes.
The Heart of Bennet Hollow is my first book with them. And I've had the joy of being a Christie Award winner and a Carol Award winner. And I am a proud member of Avid Readers of Christian Fiction. So it is just a joy to be here today.
I love it. And I know The Lady in the Lionheart, that's correct title, right? Is a fan favorite. Like that's mentioned probably once a week on Avid Readers of Christian Fiction. But your writing it's very homey, but in a good way. I don't even know how to explain it. Like
Yeah.
it feels like you're on a journey and you've known these people a long time, which as soon as you get connected with the Bennett sisters, you're like, oh, I know this family, but then we know this family in a new way because it's a retelling of Pride and Prejudice. How did you come up with this idea?
Good question. So I just love to write books set in Appalachia. That's a lot of the historical novels that I write are based there. And I'm also a huge Jane Austen fan, thanks to my mother. And those things are pretty disconnected. But then one day I thought, what if we just mash those two things together? And I was in the process of, my agent had retired. And so I was in the process of looking for a new agent, looking for a new publishing house, kind of starting maybe a little bit fresh. And I thought maybe this is the time to try that idea out. And so I pitched it to my agent at a conference. She's like, let's go for it. And we ended up getting a book contract, which has been magical and so exciting because I love getting to spend time with Jane Austen. And then also in this setting that I love and that I'm more used to writing in, and kind of getting to merge those two worlds has been really special.
I love it. So, okay, so it's been redone in different movies, miniseries. Like, what is your favorite? I definitely have a favorite. What is your favorite?
I feel okay. So this is going to be very controversial. I feel like that's what people grew up with or what they know. Cause I know there's two very strong camps. There's the Colin Firth camp and there's the Keira Knightley camp. So I grew up with Keira Knightley. So that's the one that I'm the most familiar with. But my
Me too.
mom's favorite is Colin Firth. So I love both.
Yeah, Keira Knightley, 100%. And I think that is what I watched, what I rewatched with my daughter. So my daughter, who's in the Czech Republic, is 33 now, I think. And like it's a once a year thing. She'll usually come for like 3 to 4 weeks at a time, at least once every trip. We're gonna watch it. I watched it with my grandma a lot. She passed away in July. Like
Aw,
it's just like it's my favorite. All the little hand motions, like when he gets out of the carriage and
I
like
know.
his hand.
They
Yeah,
cast I think they cast that Mr. Darcy so well.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's so well, so it's so good. But now this is a wonderful reimagining, and what I love about this is with fiction, of course, we're in their heads.
Mhm.
So first of all, we have the setting, like you mentioned, and this is a coal mining town. This family with all these daughters, they have no one to help. Her father's a geologist who has worked in the mines. I mean, I just love everything about the setup. The mom is still a little sassy, like what if we like talking mom and all the things that we love.
Mhm.
But then you have the rich owner of mines and landowner. He
Mhm.
comes and he has his, which this is awesome. so there's no mansion. There's a gilded carriage that goes on the train. I'm like, I'm just loving it. Like, I'm just
Yay.
completely, this is so fun and creative. So there's enough of, oh yeah, I could imagine this conversation, the best friend, the nephew
Mhm.
coming to town. Like, there's so much of like my mind. Like, of course, we have our favorite, or what we're picturing these scenes as I'm remembering Keira Knightley and all this stuff. But then there's fresh dialogue and setting. And so you've done a fantastic job, absolutely,
Thank
with it.
you. Thank you.
Yeah. I would love to. Like, so what's the feedback that you're getting from people as they're reading it?
Yes, so I'm getting a lot of wonderful feedback. One of the things that I didn't anticipate, and my editor told me in the middle of the project, she's all, for the record, writing retellings are really hard. I think I
Mm,
thought it was going to be a little easier. I've got a template to follow. How hard can that be? And it ended up being so much more difficult because you're
mm,
trying to stay true to the story while adding new things, but you still have these general constraints. And so I love hearing what you shared of when people connect with the characters and
mhm,
they see characters that they love. I got to make them a tiny bit different. Um, and the train car was so much fun to get to work in, for Mr. Darcy to have a train car instead of a mansion. But I think that a lot of people have described that it gives them that Jane Austen flavor, kind of makes them feel that cozy, warm Jane Austen vibes, but with a few unexpected things. And there's obviously going to be all the different camps of some people who want it to be even more unique of a spin, or some people want it to be even more close to the original. So we kind of split the difference and tried to kind of hit it right down the middle of a little bit of both.
yeah, and I think you did a fantastic job
Thank
with that. I mean, the dance, they're like in a barn, like,
you. Yeah,
and
it's a
and
part.
it's homemade dresses. I mean,
Yeah.
it's, yeah, so many good things, which I love so much. Okay, so is this going to be something you're going to continue doing some retellings with?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm contracted for 3 books. I was just filming a little teaser, and so I have the Heart of Bennet Hollow, and then I'm like, here's the next one. What's it going to be about? So I was teasing some readers about that. So I am.
Are you going to let us know on this interview?
That's a good question. I don't think I'm allowed to yet, but
Oh,
very soon I can tell you it's a Jane Austen. It's another Jane Austen classic, and
okay.
we got to choose the ones that I pitched were. It's going to be one of these three. I pitched Emma. In addition to this one, I pitched Emma, Sense and Sensibility, and Persuasion, and it's one of those.
When do we get to find out?
Hopefully, really soon. I turned in the manuscript in 9 days, so
Okay.
once my editors read it and I get the thumbs up, I will get to share about it. And I'm very excited to do that.
Okay, so I have to ask you. Okay, you turn the manuscript in 9 days. Are
Mhm.
you like, oh yeah, it's done? I'm just like totally reading through it.
No, there's times when I'm like that, where you hit that zone and you've got it printed out and you're polishing it. I'm like furiously writing chapters, acting like it's going to be okay.
Yeah, me too. People are like, how are you doing? I'm like, fine. Like you, I'm like, you have no idea that I need to
Yeah,
write 30,000 words in the next 3 days. Like,
exactly. That's basically.
you're good.
Yeah. And I was really blessed because I sent my editor a preview of it. I sent them a condensed version when it wasn't finished, and they graciously actually read it for me, and then they gave me some tips and things that they wanted me to do as we were finishing it. So I kind of got like a pre-editorial feedback, which is great because now I'm able to shape it, finalize it, and I know it's closer to what they're looking for.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you, well, obviously I was gonna say, do you plot more? But this one you have to, like, you have to
Yeah.
kind of match it up. Like,
Yeah. So
that's a lot.
I'm a pantser. I'm a pantser. I, as you know, through the author conservatory where I teach plotting, but I'm a pantser, so I do both now. So I write an outline, I show it to my editor, she will approve it. But what I find is I always seem to veer from the plan, and it's usually in a good way. So I keep a scrap document on my laptop where I don't know if you do this, but I save the things I
I
do
do.
hard.
Mhm.
My scrap document is 22,000 words of chapters that I literally don't need. So trying to find just that right recipe for this book. And something that I love that my editor did is she sent me in her notes this other classic. She said, this is what readers love about it. And it was this wonderful like reminder of all the things that they love. And so I'm getting to kind of harness that and make sure that it really
Mm.
shines through. They're big shoes to fill. And so my hope is, I know obviously Jane Austen can't ever read these books, but my hope is that if she got to, that they would give her a smile. That is my hope.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so I do have a scrap document, and I will like, oh, all these scenes and emotions, and I'll be like, this is not gonna work, and I put it
I
over
know.
there. But sometimes it can work again. I'm like, oh wait, where was that scene? I'll just
Yeah,
move it over here and do this other thing with this.
exactly. I know, and it's kinda heartbreaking. You describe their outfit or the moment so perfectly, and it just nope, it's gotta go in the scrap document.
Yeah, yeah, and I do the same thing too. All right, so you mentioned author conservatory, which we're going to
Mhm,
come back to this novel in a minute too. But since you mentioned it, there's probably like listeners going, wait, what is that? So, okay, you have kids and homeschool, and you're an author, and then
mhm,
you also teach at the author conservatory, which I've been at some of their events. I
mhm.
have one of their graduates as one of my assistants. I love them so much. I promote them. So explain what that is, and
Yes.
then we're gonna get back to the book. But
Absolutely.
I don't want
Yeah.
them people to go like, wait, what was that?
Yes, and
Yeah.
I actually got to see you at the conference. I think it was 2
Yes.
years ago.
Yeah.
So the Author Conservatory is an online writing program. It's geared towards young adults, and it's a 3-year, they call it a college alternative course, and it's something that I wish I had when I was younger. You probably wish you had it when you were younger, and we teach
Yes.
them not just creative writing, but we teach them how to be authors. So there's a business track, there's an entrepreneur track. They we coach them. I have weekly coaching calls with my students, and then we just guide them on the structure of novels. They get manuscript assessments. They do the whole thing, kind of as practice for 3 years. So when they go out into the world and they're ready to maybe pitch to agents or editors or things like that, they're really equipped and they have a lot of experience under their belts. And they're delightful. They're just delightful.
They are like the best group of kids. We played card
Mhm.
games with them for when I spoke at that conference for multiple days. They're just great personalities, great
They
hearts. And that really goes to show their leadership and the people they have pouring into them, the highest quality people.
Yes, I agree. And I expect in a few years here in this group that we'll begin to see some of their names start to trickle in. And I think over the next decade, we'll continue to see some of these names pop up as new authors. So,
Yeah. I've had some of them do practice pitches on me. I'm like, yes, if I was a publisher, I would want that. I've also been at conferences before. I've told them this, where I have someone pitching to me like a practice pitch to
mhm,
me, and then I'll hear an author conservatory like the next table over pitching. I'm like, I want to I want to listen to what they're saying over there because they're just so polished,
they're
and they
so,
also learn the business side of it too, and
yeah,
have to start a business before, so they, because writers like can't often live on the money
right.
we make with books, so they teach them how to do a business and how to run a business and all these things, so,
Exactly. Yeah, it's wonderful. I just feel so honored to get to be a part of it. I love it.
yeah, great people. Okay, so imagine I didn't know it was, this retelling,
Mhm.
and just explain the story to us of if we were just plop there, open this book, and you were just telling us about it for the first time.
Okay, yeah. So as you alluded to, it's in a coal town. Wanting to move it to Appalachia, I was trying to think of a place that I could set it that would feel really fresh. And so ended up setting it in a coal town. And it opens with the Bennett family, like you might see in the movie where they're talking about the dance. I started with that scene. And so we will know soon after that a wealthy gentleman has come to town and he is a coal baron. He's come to consider buying the coal mine, but they're going to have a dance first. And so all the Bennett girls are very excited to meet him. And it's a story of family, it's a story of faith. I got to write about the parents. I love how Mr. and Mrs. Bennett got to become Ma and Pa Bennett. And so even
Mhm.
if someone isn't familiar with Pride and Prejudice and they just read it as a historical fiction novel, I my hope was that they would enjoy it without knowing the
Oh,
classic. But
absolutely. Yeah, I
yeah,
think if they didn't even know, have never read the book, didn't know about the movies, it they would just pick it up. It just
yeah,
flows like a, yeah, it's not like awkward or, yeah, yeah.
that's my that's my hope. So getting to add those characters was absolutely magical, and um, my mind is traveling to all the different characters and I'm trying to rein it in because it was just so fun to get to work with a cast that people already love and to sort of give them that quality that people love about them, but a little bit of a maybe an Appalachian layer to them. And I hope it's just a sweet, heartfelt story. And the character, funny, I'm going on a tangent, but that's okay. My
Yeah.
husband, he read it when he was helping me review it. I didn't have Lady Catherine in there. And he said, you need to have Lady Catherine. Like, it's his favorite character. And I don't know anybody who Lady Catherine is their favorite character, but
Yeah.
there's people out there that's their favorite character. And so because of him, I got to tuck her in unexpected places. Yeah, you haven't quite gotten to her yet, but she's gonna.
No, but there's mention of it. He
Yes,
like thinks about her and thinks about what she would think of like the barn dance or different things. Like, yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So I tried to take those characters. I tried to take the themes that we love about Pride and Prejudice and Jane Austen and give them to the modern audience in a way that maybe breaks it down a tiny bit more clearly, just because the language is more modern, right? So I think that
Mhm.
does help in a way. So I hope that people who aren't familiar with the story will, like you said, they can still enjoy it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about some of the characters. Like, who were your favorite, and was there anything that surprised you about the characters?
Yes. So my favorite is, I hope you can't hear my kitty cat.
It's okay. We can barely hear it, but I have cats roaming around
Okay.
here too, so we're good. This is
Right.
like real life in a real
Real
home. We're
life
good.
cats around. My favorite character was Mr. Darcy. So in my book, he's called Mr. Drake. And
Mhm.
something that is really special to me is that my husband is the same personality as Mr. Darcy.
Oh wow,
And
yeah.
so I kind of, that partly inspired me just to write the story in general. And knowing what I know about my husband, that he's quiet, he's very reserved, he's very analytical. Getting to see the softer side of that, the very personal side of that I fell in love with, I got to literally infuse that into the story. And so
Mm.
writing from like Mr. Darcy's point of view, we obviously don't get his point of view in Pride and Prejudice. So that was my favorite part, was we got to go inside of his head, reveal what he might have been thinking and why he was thinking that way. And that was hands down my favorite part.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's like you think he's cold, right? You think he's
Mhm.
cold. But that's why I like that. When you're in his thoughts, like, oh, he's really thoughtful, like what he can provide to this community,
Mhm.
and it makes so much sense. But on the outside, you can see how the other people might have different opinions, but we're
Right.
like, no, he has a good heart. People, it's
Yeah.
okay.
Good. That's literally my husband as well. Like he's just very quiet, very reserved, but people who know him just absolutely love him. So,
I love that so much. Okay, and the sisters. So talk about the
mhm.
sisters because there's a little bit of differences too in the sisters.
Yeah, they're all a little bit different. So I gave each of them an Appalachian name that corresponded with their name. So like Lydia became Lacey and things like that. And I tried to cast them. So it was interesting because I wanted them to, of course, be absolutely true to the book, but then I also borrowed little essences from the film since people are
Mm,
also familiar with the
mhm.
film. So there's a few little details that I did that were just from the films on the sisters, maybe something that they wore or something that they said
Okay.
to kind of bring that alive. And I loved getting to write the sisters and their different personalities. The challenge was, from a writing standpoint, was, when we see it in the film, right? We have all these Bennett girls running around. It's a very excited opening scene. They're all talking about the dance. There's an energy. When I tried to write it, on the page, there were so many characters. People were getting confused. My editor was getting confused. And so to have to kind of clump some of the
Mhm.
girls together, almost like a unit, where I would send the younger ones upstairs and they'd be giggling.
And then
But
they'd be, like, calling down the stairs, yeah.
exactly. I had to kind of like simplify it a little bit, which I didn't expect that would need to happen. So I have them, some of them have not as many lines as they might, but it was just because I was trying not to overwhelm the reader. But they're all there. They're all there.
That makes sense too, because when usually you have, certain characters for a certain reason in the book, like, when
Mm-hmm.
you're writing a book, and I could see, like, that's just another another layer
A lot of
of yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's so
exactly.
good, yeah. It was I noticed right away, but some of the names are similar. So,
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth,
Mm-hmm.
Jane,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, those types of things, and then some were different, like, "Okay, that's this personality." Like, my mind as I bought the audiobook, by the way. As I'm
Oh,
listening to the
nice.
audiobook, I'm
Yeah,
like
yeah.
and the audiobook, she did a really good job.
She did an amazing job. I'm so honored. Yeah, some of the names were just different enough. I think it's Mr. Oh gosh, I'm mixing up with my current manuscript. Mr. W. Mr. Wickham. I gave him
Yeah.
a different W name, and I think there was a reader that couldn't find him in the story. I'm like, "Oh no, he was there. He's a little disguised with a different name." But for the most part, they're all there. And actually, his sister, in we're familiar with Mr. Darcy's sister, right? She's a
Mhm.
character, a little bit of an antagonist. I didn't have space for her in the story, and so she
Mhm.
actually sends telegrams throughout the book, and so we kind of hear her voice every time William gets a telegram, and it's her way of kind of entering the scene, being her kind of pesky little self, and then she leaves the scene again. So I had to kind of get creative of how to get the whole ensemble in there.
And that's hard too, because also, like, the length of the book and
Mhm.
the amount of
Yes.
space that you had before, that modern readers, and I talk when I teach about writing, you know, like, they would have pages and pages of description and pages of
Right.
dialogue, but also, like, they didn't have television. They didn't have
Yeah.
social media, that you can't do
You
that
can't do
anymore.
that.
The
Yeah.
modern reader is not gonna sit there for 5 pages of what the living room looks like, but when the book was written, that was their entertainment.
It
That was their sitcom television show that
was.
had everything in there.
Yeah, exactly, and kind of having to condense that down because I think Pride and Prejudice, there's a little bit of debate about how long it is because it's hard to count, I guess, but it's around 120,000 words, which, as you know, is longer than our books today. So I
Mhm.
took about 30, I had to condense it by about 30,000 words, but try to keep all the major themes, all the major scenes and stuff like that. So it was a challenge.
That is a lot, but you did a great job, and I cannot
Thank you.
wait to find out what the next one is.
Thank
Okay,
you.
when is the release date? You're getting ready to turn it in, so is it, like, next year?
It's going to
Um,
be next. Yeah, it's going to come out in 2027. So my publisher did something lovely. As Trisha knows, and as a few people in Avid readers know, I went through a cancer journey in
mhm.
2025. That was entirely unexpected. It's why I have such short hair.
It
Um,
looks adorable, though, I love it, and it's, like, curly. Was your hair that curly
they call it
before?
chemo. It's a little curly in my hair, but they call it chemo curls. So that's what these are. And I just plop on little headbands. But
It looks really cute.
thank you. Thank you. My Tyndale, I just have to give them a big shout out because they were so kind and loving to me during that process. They gave me all the space in the world. I was still trying to get my manuscript done during chemo, but just with being sick and all the emotional things and all the stuff, I wrote to them. I said, I just can't right now. And they were like, hey, we're going to bump it back. We're going to give you all this breathing room. And they were so sweet. And so in the back of the Heart of Bennet Hollow, it says, watch for Joanne's book coming in 2026. It's not coming. They even, despite even that being printed, they made it 2027, which is so special. So I have it again. I have it due in about 9 days, but they gave me a good 6 months extension, which I
Yeah.
really appreciated. So this is like my victory novel, the little blank one. It's going to be my victory novel that it's been with me for a long time because I've been writing it for almost a year and a half now because I took a break. So having it turned in is going to be a real special moment.
That will be awesome, and how are you doing? How's your health doing and
It's
all
doing good. Thank you. It's doing good. My blood draws are clear. I have a PET scan tomorrow,
that?
so
Okay.
prayers for that would be amazing.
Mhm.
Hopefully everything's going to be clear. But I feel amazing. I've actually thought of you a little bit, Trisha, because I know you care about nutrition, health, fitness,
Mhm.
those sorts of things, and I care about all that so much more than I used to. So
Oh, yeah.
overall, that I take care of my body, the things that I eat, all of that has also helped me a lot. I think it's a key piece in the puzzle.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, so good that you're doing well,
Thank
and then you're
you.
getting ready to turn in your next book, and then there's another one we're definitely not gonna be able to hear what that one is if we can't even hear what the next one is, so, is that for me, it's always, like, in the back of my mind, there's these little people that talk every once in a while, and they pop up, or little images or scenes. Does that happen to
Yeah.
you, like, for the future one too?
It does, yes, I've got little Pinterest boards for all the books, even though I don't know which ones I'm gonna write yet. Um, and it's hard because the 2 that haven't been chosen yet that I listed, I love them both, so I don't know even how we're gonna break that tie for book number 3. Um, but I'm excited to get there. I love all of these. I love all of these stories.
Yeah, it's gonna be so good. All right, and then how is it? Because this is the question I get asked all the time. So I wanted to ask it to someone else that's kind of doing all the same things. How do you balance with the teaching,
Mhm.
the kids, the homeschool, the writing? I
Yeah.
know 'cause people ask me that all the time. I'm sure they're like, ask her that. How does that happen?
Yeah, it's hard. I'd say it's hard. It takes really being diligent. It takes um kind of allowing yourself a pause and to recognize
Mhm.
what can I change in my environment when we do get overwhelmed? What can I let go of? What can I shift? What can I adjust? Because I think that it's natural in our day and age to just pile stuff on top of ourselves, especially as like moms
Mhm.
or women, and just think we can do it all. And we really can't. And so learning where I need grace, learning where I need to take little breaks, it has been huge. So I work close to full time in my day job, writing books, homeschooling. So I'd say for me, the thing that maybe that gave is my kids take online classes from
Mhm.
home. They're part of an online academy. And so that not only helped free up my time, but they're just better teachers than I am about certain things.
Yeah.
So I'm there, I help, I facilitate. But while my kids are doing their online classes, I'm actually teaching my online classes. And so that's something that I do where now that they're not little anymore, I find that they learn really well if they're actually not learning from me. And that's kind of the thing that gave, you could say.
Yeah, and I think that's so important too, realizing where our strengths are. I mean, don't
Mhm.
have me teach math. My older kids, which I did all the teaching all the way through, they're like, "Mom, we had to go to college and like take basic math." I'm like, "I know," because we would sit down and do math. I'd be like, "Let's create a story." That's why,
Yeah.
which I
Ex-
published books with my son. So
yeah.
my other daughter's an university professor teaching English, and my other son writes books. Like, so I can see that I passed on those good gifts, but no, math is really, I'm really, really not good at math.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And I think that's what makes homeschooling special is we can tap into our strengths. We'll recognize our weaknesses, of course. So I'd say that's maybe one of the things that has helped me where I know most of my homeschooling friends are still teacher and mom. And now for that, I'm just mom.
I love it. Yeah, I
So
love that too.
yeah.
And then we also still have all that time with our kids,
Hmm.
all the time. Which I think going through health issues, you also do realize like, okay, this is not important.
Yeah.
Like maybe something else that I thought was super important or that I need to keep
Yeah.
up with. I mean, did you feel that when you were like
Abs-
having to say no to a lot of things?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like when I got sick, it was sort of a perfect storm of, health and stress and all the things kind of came together and I think sort of created that perfect storm. And so now working my way through it and on the other side of it, I really do try to manage my stress well. When I start to sort of feel myself spinning out of control, I just think, take a deep breath. Because when you go through something that's really tragic or something that's really hard, it put a lot into perspective where say I'm
Mhm.
I'm late for something, I'm late for the dentist or something where that used to maybe bother me, now it's not that big of a deal. I've laid in like radiation machines, right? That are very scary and very intense. And if I can do that, I can be late to the dentist. So it helps me just kind of relax about everyday life and it really put into perspective what is a big deal and what's not a big deal. And that's helped me significantly lower my stress of just realizing if we are upright and we get to do really nice things today, that's great because I've had days where you don't get to do nice things and it's very hard and it's very scary. So life is good. And I think embracing that sweetness has really helped reduce my stress.
I love that so much. Okay, last question because we're talking to avid readers.
Hmm.
When you read, what are your things that you do? You have your favorite genres you go to? Do you read across genres? I know
Hmm.
you read a lot for your work too with the author conservatory. What kind of books do you like to read in your free free
Right.
time? Although I take make time to read because it's important, even though I have a lot to do. So
Yeah, yeah. So I do read cross genres. Sometimes I enjoy young adult. And I'd say in my own genre, the historical fiction world, a lot of my go-tos would be Lore France. I absolutely love Liz Curtis Higgs. Her Scottish series is one of my favorite books of all time. I started out with Lorraine Snelling. I love
oh, Lorraine Snelling's Dakota series. I
yeah.
have never read it before, and last year, I think I did like all 7 books in a row. Like, it was like
Mhm.
that's just I just got caught up in that world and those characters, and I was crying when people died. Like,
Yeah.
literally, like, sobbing when people died in her books. It was yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, she's amazing. There's one other author that I want to mention. Her books that I recently read, and I can't remember the title of it. It was a 3 book, like Native American pioneer series. What was her name? It's sitting on my shelf in my room. And
Okay.
oh my gosh, it's gonna drive me bonkers because I want to give it credit, and I'm trying to even remember the titles. Maybe this is like mom brain. I don't know,
It's
but
okay.
It was amazing, and I posted on my Instagram. I posted about it in my newsletter recently just because it blessed me so much, and I'm sure the title will come to me, but, a very quick story in closing is that when I was going through chemo and everything like that, I remember I was reading that series, and I desperately wanted to find it, and I ordered it on Amazon. It wasn't gonna come in time, and I was walking down the street, and I walked past our used bookstore, and it was sitting there, like, on an outside cart, and it was wrapped in string, and it was, like, faced where I would see it, and there's millions of books in this world, and I just remember feeling that was a gift from God saying, "Here's this series for you." Because I had been to that bookstore the day before, and the owner said they didn't have it, and for
No way.
I know, for it just being, like, perched there as I was walking past was just a reminder that God uses stories,
Mm.
and that he speaks to us in those ways, so that was a
Okay,
lot.
you have to look it up. So wait, if you do you have your phone? You can like Google it really quick,
Yeah,
or
do you care if I just walk to the other room real quick?
walk to the other. You can just leave. Yeah, like, walk to the other room. This is live, folks. Or not live. It's not really live, but
I
this
know.
is like
We're gonna just go outside. I have it sitting on the shelf, but I just don't think we could end the story if I don't tell you the book.
yeah.
Okay, here it is. It is, Whitson is her last name. Stephanie Grace Whitson.
Oh yeah, I love her.
Yep, and she has the whole series. Hopefully you can see it. And yeah, I got all the books at the thrift store. So this is the set that was sitting there waiting for me. And my mom was with me, and I just gasped when I saw it.
That
Redbird.
is so
This
cool.
series is heartrending, but it was just what I needed during the time that I have been through. And like again, it was just like a gift from the Lord that knew that I needed it. So
I love that so much. So, and I know her. She's the best. Like she's the
mhm,
sweetest.
she's
So
amazing.
good. Yeah, so good. Okay, so let people know where they can go to connect with you, to connect, of course, wherever books are
Yeah,
sold, all the things.
exactly. Wherever books are sold, all the things, and then they can find me on Instagram at Joanne Bischof DeWitt. Of course, on Facebook, my Facebook page, and then my website, my newsletter. I have a little free read for anybody who signs up for my newsletter. Yeah, those are the places.
Well, thank you, Joanne. It's so great having you here.
Thank you. It's been lovely being here. Thanks for going on a little field trip with me.
That was fun. First time ever we did that.
Okay.
That was great. It was totally worth it.
It was worth it. Yes. Thank you for having me. And I look forward again to all the times that I have in Avid Readers, all the wonderful posts. I love how well it's facilitated. It's just such a sweet, healthy, nurturing place of sharing about books. And so
Yes.
thank you for starting it.
Yeah. Thank you so much.